Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pies Presser. Are the Hawks forcing Collingwood into the first round to match a bid for Zach McCarthy? It's time to talk all things black and white. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pies Presser is proudly sponsored by TSNL Neon, Melbourne's trusted signage for commercial, LED, and neon signage. For more information, link is in the description. Visit tslsigns.com. They are Melbourne owned, family operated. What is going on, chat? How are we all? A little draft late mail stream before the draft starts at 7 p.m. Now, for those who are wondering, we are not doing a live stream for the first night of the draft just because there's not going to be a lot happening with Collingwood besides the prospect of a Hawthorn forcing Collingwood into this first night of the and first round of the draft to swoop on Zach McCarthy. So there is that. There is the potential of that, but I'm just not holding my breath on that. As real as that could be, it's just not going to happen. So maybe if it does happen, we'll get a video. And then we will definitely be doing a live stream for tomorrow, seeing as that's where Zach McCarthy could be. And then we probably have another two or three more picks after that we would look to entertain. So hope you're all well. Hope you're all well. Hawthorn a dog's ass. Dad, fish ready? Good. I'll be there. Don't worry. Robbie, Ruddy, how are ya? Good to see some familiar names. I hope we're all doing well. It's good. I rewatched your last live. Whoever asked if I was muting because of not talking about Harvey Harrison, the answer is yes, it was me. I rewatched whoever asked if I was muting you because of not talking. Oh, Teresa. Tony, what's going on? Stewie, Stephanos, Joshy. Hope we're doing well. So, what I'm going to do, guys, if we share this screen, and we'll go to... So, we're going to use Pommy's simulator in a moment, but first, I want to talk about just the late mail that we have on Collingwood here. So, actually, if we go to Jen's Twitter, because we just have it here. Late mail. Hawthorn is a potential bid threat for Zach McCarthy later in the first round. Defender Max Kondoyanis, Avery Thomas, and Geelong Falcons Hugo Mukunda and Jesse Mellor are potential options when they enter the draft. The Pies could also place bids on Lions Academy mid-forward and Dockers ball magnet Toby Wan. Dandenong Stingray Callum Smith is another Pies have looked at. Don't be surprised to see them take Katz, VFL, Small, Tobin Murray either late in the draft, given the recruiting manager Shane O'Brien crossed from Geelong ahead of the season. So there's that connection with Mackie and Stephen Wells. So there is that for sure. But yeah, the first part is interesting. Hawthorn is a potential bid threat for Zach McCarthy later in the first round. So I want to get right into this and I want to really have a look at what this means and how it works. If it does happen, how does it all work? If I make this smaller, what happens? If I do this and then I do this and then I do this, do we get more of the screen? We kind of do. That kind of gives us something, doesn't it? So if I put that there, all right, that'll do. So let's just go through this draft real quick. We're just going to draft Dersma. We're going to bid Euland. So this is Pommy's great draft simulator. I'm sure most of you are across it by now, but if you're not, this is literally a mock draft simulator completed by another YouTube creator in Pommy and Oz, for those who aren't familiar with his work. Draft. So we're going to get to Hawthorn's pick, and we're going to see what does it actually look like on the draft table if Hawthorn are daring to take a Zach McCarthy and force us into this first round that we're talking about. What pick are we up to here? We're up to pick 11. Brilliant. Pick 12. Pick 13. So I'm not really going with any logic here. I'm just going next best available as per the simulator. So Hawthorn have a pick. We've already done that. Okay, yep. So Hawthorn come in at 22. Do they have another one? The question is, right? So we've come into 34 after the match bids. Hawthorn's first pick comes in at 22. And that leaves them with the option of drafting Zach McCarthy. So if we are forced to match that bid, here's the logic of it and how that sort of pans out. If we go bang. So the bid is worth 22. Pick 22 is worth 686. There's an 84-point deduction for picks between 19 and 36 off like NGAs. So the cost would be 600, which means Collingwood would need to use pick 34, pick 40, and pick 53, which would leave us with overpaying by 24 points. And that pretty much leaves us with one pick plus Zach McCarthy for this draft, which is not ideal because in a situation going into this draft, we're looking at potentially using 3 or 4 picks, not one in the first round and then a pick late in the 50s. Like we currently we want to try and get that McCarthy bid as close to pick 34, and 12 picks before that number is not ideal. It will force us to pay up a lot more than we're probably wanting. And it burns these picks. So rather than, like I said, using 34 and then paying a bit of 40 and being able to take 3 picks, it's not ideal. I love how Kevin Shifter Sheehan rates every single player. Won't say a negative word. Well, I remember Kevin Sheehan had Tom McGuan dubbed a top 5 fancy, and I think all the hype about McGuan really started to rise up a level when Sheehan came out and said he's got a great IQ and tried to liken him to Nick Dacos in some ways, had him dubbed as a top 5 prospect. I think that was the beginning of the end for McGuan when it came to the hype train, unfortunately. And that was early last year in 2024, really. So if we match and consume picks, like I said, that pushes us all the way back to pick 54 or 52 once they come in a bit more. I like how ESPN draft prediction plays out. We get pick 35 and 37, then get McCarthy. How do you mean? D says, I reckon we get McCarthy, only a key defender and another midfielder. All contingent on whether Hawthorn go for this or not. So potentially coming in at pick 22 is just not what you want as a Collingwood fan right here. 0% McCarthy goes that early. He won't even be picked before our first pick. That's what we're all hoping for, TP. That's what we're hoping for. I'll make a Hawthorn voodoo doll if they do that to us. I mean, like, they've got to... It depends how clubs go about treating other clubs with regards to the picks. We're hearing West Coast are going to force Carlton to match quite early. So if clubs genuinely want to make clubs overpay while also rating the player that they're forcing clubs to match a bid on, then I think we might see that a little bit more where clubs try to burn other clubs. I don't know. For the longest time, it's been a pretty civil relationship between clubs on draft night. Nobody likes to burn each other. They try and work with each other because it ruins relationships in the future. Let Hawks have him, call their bluff. The thing is, it could be a bluff, but they could genuinely just rate Zach McCarthy in that order. I mean, he played national champs. He was hindered through injury. So had he shown a little bit more, if not for injury this year, maybe he is worthy of being higher up the draft board. We've seen key position players. They're always a funny one. You look at last year, I felt like Jonty Fall went earlier than most would have thought. Thomas Sims as well, going to Richmond. So when you tie in a club who needs key position players or is targeting key position players, and the potential that key position players have this large scale of whether they could slide or be a bolter, I think it could spell an ominous night leading into this whole thing with Hawthorn. Like if Hawthorn are sweet, like, I mean, sure, you think about what they need right now. They need a midfielder, Hawthorn. But they're just because you get a midfielder in the draft, and they go to Hawthorn, it doesn't fix their midfield problems, right? So maybe they think, all right, well, we've got Gunston, we've got Marbior, we've got Cal Shadir. They have one more. We've got Mitchell Lewis. We got Lloyd Meek. Outside of that, I think there's a rationale that says to me that's a nice project that they could work on, right? Tony Malamache, is that how you say it? Tony Malamache. I think clubs genuinely bid on how they rate the player. Otherwise, they are stuck with the player if the bid is... Exactly. Like, you're not... While it's one thing to screw over a club by going early and bidding on an academy-tied player or a father's son, you have to live with the risk that if the other club don't match it, they're stuck with you. So you have to rate them if you're going to bid on them. Yeah, to bid on someone at 20, you just rate them. 15, in my opinion, as someone may not match. Correct. Love that, Tony. The shifter is a sniffer. Snifter? Shifter? Snifter. Stewie, what does snifter mean? That's not in my vocabulary. It's not my wheelhouse, my friend. Teresa, I love draft night. It's so entertaining, regardless of what Collingwood does. I always have it on. I'll have it on. I've been, to pass my time in the off-season, I've been getting around the NBL. I don't mind it. Not much of a cricket fan, unfortunately. Hawks could be trading pick 10. Should we offer up our future first? I got no idea, Joshy. I got no idea, my friend. Absolutely got no idea. Let's make a poll. Do you think Hawthorn will bid on McCarthy at pick 22? Let's finalize that. Bang, bang, bang. Sweet. Meanwhile, let's go back here. This other part that I want to touch on here. So as we can see, pick 39, 45, 56, 58, 67. The wait for the Pies will be on where the bid comes for next generation academy prospect, Zach McCarthy. Mostly clubs feel that pick is coming after the 30 range, which would be a good result for the Magpies. Collingwood is keeping an eye on trading its early part of the draft. Keeping an eye on trading into the early part of the draft using a future first rounder. So Joshy said that Hawthorn are potentially offering up pick 10, which I have some reservations. I think we all have some reservations about trading away any future first when we're looking to get into free agency next year and the year after. But it seems like if a Dyson Sharp falls to a pick, we will force that trade. So we will have the hand on the phone to call other clubs. But it's likely only if a specific player is available, such as SA Gun midfielder Dyson Sharp. And the chances of them getting up the board are remote. The Pies are likely to use at least 3 picks on the night and could open a 4th if a player is available, or they may decide to upgrade a rookie as the last selection. So to upgrade a rookie, so the reason why we're seeing that is to potentially make X amount of changes to be sufficient with or to meet the requirements of the AFL rule. I think you need to make 3 list changes per year, and you can do that by upgrading a rookie to the primary list, going through the draft. So there's that. But I'm curious, why would they? I mean, they may decide to upgrade a rookie as that last selection. I'm wondering why would we need to do that on draft night, guys? Am I missing something? Can we not just make that decision? When does the list get finalized? It's not till doesn't get finalized tonight. So I'm curious. Like, we've already made, you know what? I might open up my I might actually open up my list on Canva so we can have a look there and we can see the picture of what needs to happen. Do we have any good father-sons academy players coming through next year? Not so much next year, D's. I'm hearing players like Josh Frazier's kid, Ted Fraser. I'm hearing the Rockers. So there's a few there. But not next year. I'm not aware of anyone for next year. Yeah, Ted Fraser. Where is my list management Canva template? List management. Here we go. I don't think that's how it works. Upgrading rookies doesn't happen in the draft. Yeah, that's why I'm weird why they've said that. I'm confused. But let's look. I haven't updated this in a minute, so maybe we do that together. Okay, so now I know why I made my screen smaller. All right, let's go. Now I'm familiar. Now I know what I've done. Sorry, guys. Bit of tech. All right. So we have made one change to the list by adding Buller. You're probably looking at a like a McCarthy, for example, right? My screen very slow. Hold on, let me close this Photoshop. The Rocker boys coming through. Rockers have a lot to improve to be AFL talent as they play my nephew. What'd you see, Milkshakes? Talk to me. So that's one pick. Let's just say, let's go bang. Let's just for the sake of this, let's just say we go, let's just say Rodriguez is on the table, yeah? Just hypothetically. And then another player that's been in the name of it all. That's already 3 changes to the list, no? That's already 3 changes to the list. And then you can throw in like a Cody Curtin, who's been linked to us as well, is what we're hearing. So that's 4 additions to the primary list. So what I might do is I might go do this for a moment, because we're likely going to add 3 players, aren't we? So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put them down. Probably put them down to here. Will Collingwood improve with the amount of players they lost in trade and delisting? So we lost Will Hoskin-Elliott, who wasn't in our best 23. We lost McRae, not best 23. We lost Dean. We lost AJ. We lost Markov. We lost Mason Cox. We lost Tom Mitchell. I would argue, Ken, the only player that was best 23 was Brody Myercheck. Buller not classified a change. Okay. Yeah, so you got to make changes to through the national draft or upgrade someone from the rookie list. So in which case, you might see this, yeah? So you go like a McCarthy or like a Curtin as well. And say we're shit out of luck, Hawthorn bid it on McCarthy early. We can only make 2 selections in the draft. We don't use the later picks. We might do this. We might chuck Ned Long onto the primary list, upgrade him from the rookie list, and then you're sweet there. So anyways, I'll leave that here for now. This is where we stand. We have 31 on the primary list, and then we have 7 rookies. That gives us 38. And then you can have up to 44 on a list. So say we do add Cody Curtin, Rodriguez, and McCarthy, for example. That's 3 players. That takes us to 41. And then gives us room to look into the preseason supplementary period. It also gives us room to look at this, guys. It actually gives us room to look at Jai Saxena in the rookie draft. NJ prospect Jai Saxena is expected to go to the Pies, most likely as a rookie, while they have shown interest in Brisbane Academy prospect Ty Prindable. Of the open pool players, Riley Onley is a chance late, while Collingwood have also done work on Cody Curtin, who is shaping to clubs as a potential key defensive option despite playing forward this year. The club has nominated Tom McGuan as a father-son, but will only consider him in the rookie draft if they hold spots for it. So there is every chance that we add Saxoner and McGuan to the rookie list. That will get us to 43, leaving one spot open for the preseason supplementary period. Josh says, you want as many... wasn't the son of Loney in this draft? Yes, Robbie, he was in the draft. I think he played for the Dandenong Stingrays, but I don't think he's going to be good enough right now. Maybe he plays for the VFL, but he won't. I don't see him being AFL listed. That would be a shock. Ken says, Hawthorn won't chase McCarthy. What makes you think that? You want as many on the rookie list as possible, as their first $100,000 of their wage doesn't count towards a salary cap. Yes, you pay them a lesser rate as well, right? Which is why we have so many rookies at the moment, to make some room. Two negatives equal a positive, says Tony. Milkshake says, I think they need to finish growing into their bodies and to start playing at a higher standard junior competition. My brother's coached against them and he said they are not AFL standard yet. Well, I mean, like, how old are they, Milkshakes? They're what, 15, 16? What do they play, SMJFL or something? What region is it? They're not going to be AFL standard now. Of course they won't be. Not yet. All right, so the question, do you think Hawthorn will bid on McCarthy at pick 22? 28 votes, 61% say no thus far. So that's where we're at. That is where we're at. Riley Onley is a really good look, but once again, if we go here, I might duplicate this. Yeah. This is a draft. I'll write draft hypothetical. Draft hypothetical. I'll just write hypothetical. Yeah, draft hypothetical. Hypothetical. All right. So say we go Curtin. Say we just, this could be Rodriguez. I'd prefer an Onley from what I've seen. Curtin was a forward, but the clubs rate him as a potential defensive option. You got McCarthy, yeah. And then what can happen here? Let's have a look. So let's push these blokes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Let's see what happens here. So then, say we add Saxoner, rookie B. So we'll put him down here for a moment. Let's go push these back up. Sorry, guys, bear with me. We're going to work through this together, aren't we? Make sure we get this right. Move him up one, because that will be a rookie B for now. Make this lad green. So potentially the NGA can play as a rookie B. Can be listed as a rookie B. And then there's, like, as we can see here, there's a world where McGuan comes in as a rookie A. So that does take us to 9. So in which case, guys, to make space, we're going to make Longy an upgrade to the primary list. So Longy, bang, bang. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total on the rookie list. And then we have 35 on the primary list. That gives us 43, which leaves us one spot for the preseason supplementary period, potentially. There we go. Yeah, so if you're watching the draft tonight, you're pretty much holding your breath that Hawthorn don't bid. And also, potentially, if there is a player made available as a slider, then there's every chance that Collingwood will, from what we're hearing, will give away a future first. But this is what we could see. So we could go 1, 2, 3 in a primary draft, national draft. Rookie list McGuan, and then chuck Jai Saxoner, rookie B. That's a potential, and leave one spot for the preseason supplementary period. Hope Pies get Cooper, Duff, Tyler at pick 2. Righto. ESPN draft guide is the outcome. We are hoping to take 2 picks, then get Zach McCarthy. Yeah, fair. Fairo. Hawthorn mainly chasing mids and forwards. Well, might suit them. My brother said they're not dominating or anything like other kids are. Okay. All right, so maybe there's a chance they don't play. We'll see. They're young. What are our thoughts on Mason Cox wearing the purple haze potentially for next year? Sounds like that's a sure thing. My perspective is all the best to him. I think he is clearly keen for an opportunity elsewhere if the opportunity presented itself, and it has. So, wishing him all the best. And does he play? There's Sean Darcy, there's Luke Jackson. It's a big move, like going from Victoria, settled at his age, and then going to Perth on a 2-year contract, which is nice. So there is some assurance there. But I'm sure there is the understanding that he could be playing a bit of waffle. But he's going to a list where they are, you can't see them falling out of the top 8 for a little while now. So he's saying, you know what, I don't care where I start and how what it takes me to play for the first team. I know this club are a chance in the next couple of years. I've got a 2-year contract. I'm going to take my chance. That's how keen and desperate I am to play on at this level. I've got more to give, and I want more. Mason will look strange in Dockers colours. Mason the waffle, you reckon? He'll be a Peel Thunder player. Luke Mondon says, my guess for the midfielders, we go for a Jack Dalton and Riley Onley, then hopefully a McCarthy bid, and then Saxona later in the draft. So, Luke, we're hearing that Saxona will be a rookie. We'll pick him up in a rookie draft. Milkshake's on a chat GPT. Jack Dalton, yeah, if you ask me from what I've seen, I prefer Riley Onley as opposed to a Jack Dalton, but you trust that the list management know what they're doing. You don't move to Perth on 100k a year, so that's why I got 2 years, as cost heaps to move interstate. Fair. I doubt money would be hardly a piece of the conversation for Mason to play on. It's just an opportunity. That's what Freo's waffle team is. Peel Thunder little. Yeah, I got you. I assumed that. I assume that. Man. So preseason starts next week, by the way. Preseason. Can't wait. Can't wait for just to get into a full rhythm of it all. Have an excuse to jump on a live stream every evening and just do this all over again. This whole merry-go-round. I can't wait. Keen for it. Are you sure? Am I sure what? Are you talking to Milkshakes? Milkshakes is on. He's on that Zaza. That's what Milkshakes is on. Do you buy a ticket to the Origin? Where is it? Is it going to be in Melbourne? If it's in Melbourne, I'd probably advise against for the State of Origin, given it's within its infancy. You just don't know what it's going to be. You live in Perth, so I'd probably say no. If it's in Perth, then I'd say go. ESPN has Philippou going pick 36. We have pick 35 according to their order based on where bids are. Yeah, so once the whole matching bid case has been done, then we will see Collingwood's pick fall to 34. First pick falls to 34. I don't fucking... I've hardly done any looking into this whole State of Origin thing. I'm apprehensive to it all because of what we've seen in the past. If there's a bit of heat and aggression and passion If you can see that in the first game, I'll take the time to sit down and watch it. But if it's just going to be a money grab and they're playing tag footy where if they rip a tag off your hip, then it's holding the ball, and that's how they're playing. It's if they touch your shoulder, it's it's a turnover. I'm not into that. If it's going to be state of origin, it's got to rival the state of origin of the NRL. That's the standard. Do not make. All I'm saying is the AFL better not make a mockery of this. Hey, Badri, how are we, my friend? I know. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. It's in Perth. Keep in mind, it's peak summer here in Perth. It'll be 30 degrees still by the time of the game. When is the game? January or February? I'm going to guess it's late February. And it just goes to show you how much I've looked into it. Ian, do you think that Blight Pies will still pick him up? No. Jacob Blight has moved back to Perth and he's playing waffle. So my brother coaches his son in Melbourne and my brother is in Cooter. I don't think anybody cares about State of Origin anymore. They left it too long. Valentine's Day, that's cute. All right, let's ask the question. Well, for those who are here, tell me, do you... what's the right question? Do you care about the AFL State of Origin? That's a starting point. My next question would be after that is, if you care about the State of Origin, do you think the players will care about the State of Origin as much as you do and as much as the NRL do? It'll be like the bushfire game with no tackling in the game, such a transition game. I don't want it to be like this, the NBA, the way the NBA All-Stars is now, where it's literally just an exhibition weekend. I'd rather not risk players getting injured. They're getting paid a decent amount, it seems, right? So, like, treat it like it matters. All the talent, it'd be nice, yep. All the talent. Do you care about the AFL State of Origin? 15 votes. No, 67%. Okay. There's footy to watch. Yeah, look. Don't get me wrong, guys. We'll do a watch along for it. We will be doing a watch along, but we will be watching and with a close eye and critiquing every little bit of it. That's what we're gonna do here, because we want to know if it's the real deal. Here's the thing. I don't care about the AFL State of Origin right now, but if they represent it in the right way, and the right way is a concoction of things that we've already sort of touched on: aggression, passion, putting your head over the ball, then it means something. Like do it for your state. But if not, it's just another NBA All-Star game. It'll be a non-contact sport, you reckon, Stefanos? Interesting, that. So if we have 3 picks and one of them is McCarthy, who do you guys think the other 2 picks will be? We've spoken about Curtin, we've spoken about Onley, we've spoken about Gondo Yanis, we've spoken about who else? Heatherton. Blake Threadgold has been a name, although he'll probably go early. There's been Jack Dalton. There's been Rodriguez. There's been Sam Swadling. Like, have any of you guys gone into this hole, this rabbit hole of the draft, and have taken a close liking to some of the players that we're potentially looking at in this draft? I'd like to see private School of Origin. This way you don't get rogue player trying to make a name for themselves and make a big hard tackle. Nick Dacos, a state of origin will be no tackling, so not much chance of injury. Apparently, Hawks want to trade 22 up to 17. I doubt McCarthy gets a bid that early. If he does, we shouldn't match it. Well, if it's a 17, it would be a disaster, wouldn't it? I found a bar here in the middle of nowhere in Asia, so we're all watching the AFL draft. Huge. TP, huge. Whereabouts in Asia are you at the moment? And how many people you got watching the draft? Ian says, I'd like Riley Onley and Swaddling. Sam Allen I like, but he's more of a long-term as coming off an ACL. Bit of heat in the chat between Stewie and Milkshakes here. This is fascinating. Watching this until that too. Yeah, now you're gonna have a pizza, aren't you, Teresa? Pizza and draft instead of gym and Gatorade. What's the poll saying? Yeah, so most of you don't care for it. Blake Odshawn Benia, I like. It's a hard name to pronounce. Emma says, I like the look of Avery Thomas. Could be a good pickup. I've heard there's been people likening him to Isaac Claynor. So he's from Tasmania. So that is a name that's in the discussion as well, absolutely. Tom Blarmeyers, yep. That would be a nice one to look at from the Franks and Dolphins. Absolutely killed us when we played against them in that night where Degoe and Bobby Hill played. Down 7 kilos in 6 weeks. That's huge, Strazer. That's huge. Good to hear. I'm in a province in the Philippines. Only 8 so far, but it's only the afternoon, so we will see. Yep. I mean, it starts in like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, doesn't it? The game is getting boring. Too many changes to wreck the game. Can't touch players much like the good old days. It is one of those sports that we're seeing drastic changes every couple years, more so than other sports. Although I do think about the NBA, there's changes there. I think about the EPL. I mean, fundamentally the games haven't changed, but the sports are a little bit older, no, than footy, in some ways. So, change isn't always good, of course, but change is good in some cases. Yeah, I'd like to. I feel like they missed the ball in some of the rule changes this year, but we'll see how it all goes. The Tasmanian kids looks okay. Yeah, I think that's the Avery Thomas one, Ruddy, isn't it? Avery Thomas. Yeah. Block milkshake from streaming and John my combo. Someone call me Nuffy, no reason. I love a little beef. Still, he only deals in truths. What else are we thinking, guys? Any questions? What are our thoughts? How do we feel about the Bo McCreary injury? As I said in the video, I think it just puts an exclamation point to the importance of Di Mattia and Ed Allen. It should give them, as bad as this sounds, but it's the truth, it should give these types of players a great deal of extra encouragement to put their foot down throughout the preseason. When Bo is coming from a long way back, their opportunity is right there for them to take. From a fan's perspective, we all want Bo to be the guy. But from an individual's point of view, Ed Allen would see that as right. That's my in. Di Mattia, I'm a similar player to Bo in some ways, is what HDM would be saying. So that's their chance to go bang in the preseason and get a sniff, get a look early into the opening round 1. What channel's the draft? I would say Fox Footy, Matthew. But I know you're in Thailand, so I'm not sure how it would work there. Nah, Grumman, I heard the return will be late January. He's officially injury prone, which is unfortunate because he could be an A grader. Look, I think the foot injury is more a contact injury rather than soft tissue. So I don't think it's doom and gloom in that way. I think he got stepped on in that game against Melbourne. But yeah, feet are funny. Feet don't recover very well. They just don't recover well at all. So that's a contact one. So I can live with that one. The positive is it happened now and not just before the season starts. That's suppose so, Badri. You'd rather it not at all. Good old Tasmania will shake every club once they join, with them taking players from every other clubs to make it interesting. Yeah. Injury creates opportunities for the next man up to wear the black and white, says Stefanos. Love it. Yes, sir. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think Demetriou and Allen are as good as Beau McCreary, obviously, without stating the obvious. But it's their chance. And could they become better players than Beau McCreary? I'd say still, yes, the door is open for both of them to be better in different ways. But it also leads into this narrative that the fans want to see. We want to see some of these younger players take their chance and fucking establish themselves in the best 23. Like look what we've done. McRae gone, Hoskin Elliott gone, Dean gone, AJ gone, Markov, Mason, Tom Mitchell, Myercheck. There's a few old heads there who are clogging up some of these opportunities for Ed Allen, for Will Parker, for Jacob Ryan, for TJ. So Charlie West is going to get a chance, a good chance at that. Let's hold hands and watch Harvey Harrison 2024 highlights. What's our expectations for next season? Badri, like I said, it hinges on those players on the precipice of, their third and fourth year in the system. I think that's a big one. Can Nick Dacos back it up? Can Pendles and Sidey perform for another year? What does Jack Buller bring? Will Jamie Elliott still have impacts in different ways, not necessarily 60 goals? Bobby Hill, will he find some stability outside of footy, which would subsequently be conducive to what happens, all the good things that happen if your outside of footy life is good, that happens inside the footy world? Oscar Steen's another question. Rowan Steele, can he be a really good winger? Patrick Lipinski, can Patrick Lipinski be 10% better than the player he is right now? Harvey Harrison and Reef, that's another big one. So Harvey Harrison was 2021, Reef was 2020 draft. What else am I looking at? Jack Crisp, like these players who are, in their 30s, Jeremy Howe. Yeah, it's a good question looking at the list. Like there's a lot of question marks, let's be honest. But I think every list has question marks going to the next year. Absolutely. It's exciting. Yeah, Teresa, I noticed Dan Houston in the final series just not running well. When the ball was loose out in the open, he just looked like he was waddling. Like I was like, I remember my brother just going, what is going on with Houston? Like he can't move. He's a liability. And it was good to hear that. It was not good to hear that he was injured, but to know that he was carrying an injury, hence why he didn't look quite right. Yeah. So, hello, Yanni. I know we haven't been doing many drafts, many live streams lately, just because there's been nothing really to talk about. It's the off season, but we've got the draft now, so we're doing the stream now. Yanni will do a stream tomorrow for the draft. And we'll probably do a draft Friday as well to recap it. Then the preseason starts next week. So, look, last preseason, I didn't do many live streams. But if there's news constantly coming out, I'll try to get a few live streams per week. Like, I want to stream every day. Like, that is genuinely what I want to do hand on heart. It's just will the content or the news allow it. So it's just a matter of seeing how it all goes. Like this is, for me, live streams in the off season. I'm not, because I've only been doing this for 2 years. I don't know what it looks like in the pre-season. So we'll see. Pies needs to protect McCreary if needed. Make sure he's fully fit. Allen's bigger body isn't he? Allen's a bigger body. Isn't he use him in middle till McCreary? Ian, your English in that sentence is questionable, but I'm going to assume you're saying Allen's a bigger body and why not use him while McCreary recovers? Yeah. You'd think Ed Allen's, when he comes back next week, guys, guess what everyone's going to be saying? God, Ed Allen's, I'm telling you, clip this. Ed Allen's he's put on some size. He's looking like he's ready to go, and that might be the truth. Same with Demons here. Everyone's put on 5-10 kilos every off season, so we're led to believe when we hear the pundits. MD, we'll never know, man. We'll never know. When the superhero gets shot in the heart that early in a movie, I don't like to revisit that, you know. Hopefully Houston can play as well as he fishes in 2026. He's been catching stonkers. I remember Cats having question marks for 15 years on the list. Yeah, everyone has, and that's my point. Exactly my point, Joshy. Everyone has question marks going into every year. Absolutely. Yeah, I just don't know. Like Ed Allen's, he's just a slim guy. He's just a slim guy. Like I just don't know how well he's going to be able to fill out. I'll be real. We're not winning in 2026 as Milkshakes. It's a year to get experience with 5 kids with a full season. I think the majority of us can concede that we may not be like a top 2, top 4 side, but the expectation for me right now is top 6, and like I'd still want to see us in the top 8. You have to remember, guys, we were the 3rd best side in the league this season. Like, you know, falling from 3rd position to 9, 10, 11, 12 is a drastic fall. So I'm tipping that we don't see that fall. That's my tip for now. Muscle gain. Yep. Yeah, Harvey's definitely put on some size. I can confirm that. That's for sure. Reef as well. The difference is, Therese, the difference is with Reef and Harvey is they've been injured for a year. So all they're doing is spending time in the gym. So their muscle mass accumulation is warranted and real. Whereas like you'll see players come back next week. They might have a nice bit of a tan, which sort of accentuates the muscle building. They've probably eaten a bit more in the off season naturally because it's off season. So I think it's more marginal for players who are just coming off the back of a couple month off season. But for players who have been on a long-term injury list, it's a different story. 2010, we were the youngest premiership team in history to win premierships, so nothing is off the cards even if we play kids. And off that logic, Josh, we were the youngest team to win a premiership. You would have thought we would have been entering a dynasty phase. That didn't happen. So it goes both ways. You could be young, old, and you could thrive or you could not thrive. Truthfully. Them bloody Ashcrofts. We could have 2 HH on our list tomorrow. Harvey Harrison and... Who's the other HH? Rick, who's the other HH? What are you foreshadowing, my friend? Who is the other HH? Help me, guys. Zach McCarthy, Riley Olney, Cody Curd, and Fred Rodriguez, Sam Swaddling. Hunter Holmes is what you're talking about. I got you. Hunter Holmes. There's a name. There is a name. Yeah, all right. Team Mello, not doing a stream, but we'll do a stream tomorrow. We'll do a stream tomorrow because look, something might happen for Collingwood tonight, but I just don't want to hold my breath on that. I'll be honest. I'll do a video on it if something happens. Anyhow, guys, I'll leave it there. I appreciate you all. We'll see you tomorrow for a draft stream at 6:50. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, as always, go Pies.